Good afternoon. Today is July 24th, 2025. My name is Dennis Metters, and this is going to be my week 4 assignment for FTE 217. The first part of this assignment, we're going to clear and make safe this firearm, always keeping it pointed in a safe direction. We're going to remove that magazine. We're going to inspect, see that magazine is clear. We're going to lock that bolt to the rear. Then we're going to visually and physically inspect that chamber for any ammunition. We have none. All right, for part 1 of this assignment, we're going to disassemble the firearm and prepare for cleaning. We're going to move bolt assembly, charging handle, just taking those pins, we're going to separate the upper from the lower. And for the purpose of time on this video, as far as I'm going to take it down. For the upper receiver, the cleaning process would be to take a cleaning rod, run some wet patches of a solvent to break up any carbon in that barrel. I like to run 2 or 3 wet patches down, let it sit for a minute, come back with a nylon brush, give that some brushing, then go back, run a couple more wet patches through, and then dry patches till you get it clean. Repeat that process as necessary. For the bolt assembly, you pull your pin, separate everything out. We would do an inspection of this. Pull your bolt out. On the back of the bolt right there is a known spot for carbon buildup. You'll want to scrape that. As you're cleaning, wiping everything down, we want to do a visual inspection for any cracking or damage. And then for lubrication points on the upper receiver, I like to leave a light coat of oil inside the barrel if I'm going to be storing it. Here, I like to run these bolts a little on the wet side. Some people do, some people don't. Keep oil out of here in your gas key, but as far as everywhere else on here, gas rings, just the whole bolt assembly itself when it's took apart, I like to run it not dripping wet, but a little on the wetter side. Lower receiver, that doesn't get super dirty, but I like to wipe that down, also inspect everything. And then I like to hold that trigger, drop that down, and my oil points in here is going to be on my springs. It's the only place I'm going to put a drop of oil there, maybe on the front of my hammer where that makes contact. And then that's going to be it. Another point on these rails that I didn't mention, under the bottom, any friction points, movement, metal to metal contact, need to have lube. For part 2 of this, well, that was part 2. Part 3 is explain how you can educate a customer to spot and avoid ammunition-induced malfunctions. Ammunition-induced malfunctions, one of those could be failure to feed from underpowered rounds, squib loads, stovepipes. Some of these can be ammunition-related malfunctions. Your ammunition-related malfunctions could just be from cheaply made ammunition, old ammunition, ammunition that's been exposed to moisture and been wet, ammunition that may not have the bullet seated properly. Any of these can be malfunctions that are related to defects in the ammunition. Part 4. As a gunsmith, should you train your customers in proper shooting principles, include grip and stance? And as I talk about this, I'm going to reassemble this rifle as I go over this. So, as a gunsmith, I don't think that it hurts us to provide customers with just general purpose knowledge. So especially for new shooters, any information we can give them to improve their grip or stance that will cause them to have a more enjoyable experience or be more safe in their experience, I think it's good knowledge to pass on. Now, a lot of us, it's probably not our intent or job to we may not be running a firearms training course, but that's just general knowledge that they're going to appreciate, and it's going to make them better. And they're going to enjoy shooting a lot more if they're more accurate, and it's better for everybody if they're more safe. So I think that's a good practice. Firearms reassembled, by the way. For the last part of the assignment, it's going to be part 5. Describe why it's important to understand firearm accessory operation prior to attaching any accessory to a firearm. We want to know how that operates, and we also want to know how it's going to affect the firearm to make sure we're not installing something such as a muzzle device out here on the end of this barrel that's built for a 5.56 and we install it on a 308. You fire that round through there, it's going to be a bad day. So knowing how that functions, or how that accessory functions and its relation to the function of the rifle, we don't want to install anything that's going to create an unsafe environment or an unsafe situation. So it's important to know how your gun operates, and also how whatever accessory you're going to be adding to that is going to affect that operation of that firearm. And that concludes my week 4 assignment for FTE 217. My name is Dennis Metters. Thank you.